Welcome everybody. I'm Charlie Thurman with Kentucky Sports Legends. And today we're great opportunity to visit with two real Kentucky sports legends on one of the greatest basketball teams in the history of Kentucky basketball. I have Barney Thweit on my right here, Mason Cope on my left from the 1947-48 Brewers Redmond team. Runners-up in 1947 in the state tournament to Maysville, Kentucky. Winners of the 1948 Kentucky State Basketball Championship in 1948. It is one of the two greatest records that's still in the history of Kentucky basketball. Their record of being the last undefeated 36-0, 1948 is now going into year 62. If we think of all the great basketball teams that's come and gone since then, and to think that these guys are still part of that historical championship ball club, it's a pleasure today to be able to sit here and visit with them, talk to them a little bit about their basketball, their high school career. We spent a good bit of time with Barney already. We're looking forward to spending some time with Mason today, talking about not only his high school career. He had quite a collegiate career at Murray State University in Kentucky Western. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, about both of those. And so let's start with Mason. I want to start a little bit with you. I know from talking that you, I believe, was originally born in Brewers. And
right.
And tell us a little bit about your early career, because I know you moved away and come back. Just give us a little history of growing up and before we got started, getting ready to get started in the high school at Brewers.
Well, I went to Bantry Creek probably 2 years, and then we moved to Michigan. And I came back when I was in the seventh grade, about midway through, and started playing basketball, and Martha Terry was my coach.
Martha Terry, and the head coach was?
High school coach was McCoy.
McCoy Terry. So you actually started playing basketball under the direction of Martha Terry, who was his wife.
Right.
Okay, and also your teacher.
Right.
And what did Martha teach in school?
Everything.
Everything. She taught everything.
We only had one teacher in grade school at Brewers.
Okay. So she taught everything.
Everything.
Okay. So you started playing basketball in the 7th grade. Your coach was Martha Terry. And tell us a little bit about that progression up into going into high school. And from starting in the 7th grade, when did you start spending some time on the varsity?
I played quite a bit as a junior. As a sophomore later in the season. And then I started as a junior and a senior.
So in your sophomore year, which would have been 1946, you were playing on the varsity, you just didn't start.
Right.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that ball club was a pretty good ball club. It went to the state tournament also, isn't that right? Did you all go to the state tournament 3 years in a row, is that correct?
46, 47, 48.
Yep.
Okay. Just on, before we go further on that, tell me, Barney, if I'm not mistaken, I believe you told me that 46 team was an awful good ball club, but you all actually probably had a chance to win the state tournament in 46. Is that correct?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
45 was the great team.
The 45 was I knew you had an earlier. Yeah. Your freshman year, which would have been 45, that team didn't go to the state tournament.
But should have gone.
And should have gone and had an awesome ball club.
Was Ed on that?
Robert Moeller was senior, Bill Perry senior, Egghead, Jewel, Kenneth. We played substitute, Coy and I in band.
That was the 1945.
45.
And they got beat by whom in the regional that year?
Milburn.
Milburn?
Milburn.
Okay.
Oh, that was a fluke.
Yeah.
Well, let's, okay, but I was wrong about the 46. It was a 47 had Coach Terry had strung together a pretty serious group of ball clubs through there, hadn't he?
Well, see, the 46 team, we went to state, we had 7 sophomores
7
to
something.
dress out for state tournament, two seniors and a junior. We beat Tillman in the finals for regional, and went to state, and got beat the first game at Dawson Springs. And you were a freshman that year.
Yeah.
I don't know why, you should have been on that tournament squad.
I got my teeth knocked out, and my mother and daddy made me quit, and then Darryl talked to me and let me play when I was a sophomore and came back out.
Well, I knew something happened.
Yeah.
So let's get that straight then. So now, how did you get your teeth knocked out? Was that a fight
game.
in a ball game?
Yeah.
And your mama didn't like it too much?
No, daddy didn't either. I don't know, but anyway, I wound up off the team after that and didn't play the rest of the year, and I don't remember what time of the season it was. And because even though I was small, I probably wasn't over 5', below 5'6" then. I was pretty good then. I had speed back then.
Well, so now, did Coach Terry talk to you between your freshman and sophomore year to try to get you come out?
I don't remember.
And but you just know you came out your
Yeah,
sophomore year.
Darryl, my brother, talked mother and daddy into letting me play.
Did you get any more teeth knocked out after that?
No.
Okay, that's a good news. Okay. Well, let's go on then. So in 46, you didn't play on the 46 team, and as a junior, or as a sophomore, you were starter on the 47 and the 48 team.
No, I didn't start at 47.
You didn't start on that 47 team. Okay. So
Came off the bench and played a lot.
so you were a sub. I'm sorry, you were a sub on that.
I was either probably 6th or 7th man, but
You and Tom
Rudy,
Mathis was.
Rudy Arnott was probably 6th man then.
Okay.
Was he or
No, Rudy was a regular.
What?
Rudy was a regular.
I said Arnott.
Oh, Kenneth Arnott? Yeah, probably 6th or 7th. You and Tom and Kenneth were all in the mix there.
Yeah.
Well, let's stand on the 47 team. So we've got 4 juniors and let's see, and then we're going, and you've got a heck of a ball club because you coming back. I'm trying to sit down here looking, and you've gone to the state tournament in 46 as sophomores. You're coming back as juniors. No wonder you all kicked everybody's brains in 48 because you all been on a pretty serious run there for 3 years, weren't you?
Yeah, we had some experience behind it.
You had some experience. Well, and of course, with experience, we all know comes a huge amount of confidence. And not only that, you had a lot of talent on the ball clubs. It wasn't only experience, you had a lot of talent. We've spent a goodly amount of time talking to people around the state that saw you all play, and they said there wasn't anybody that's going to be an All-American on that team, but said you had a lot of athletic ability and was faster and quicker than anybody. We've made some comparisons, and we'll talk about that down the road. But a lot of quickness, which was obviously your strength, and toughness, full court press. And when did you start the full court pressure in 46, or did that come in 47?
That came in 47 because in 46 we only averaged like 40-some points a game.
Okay.
But then in 47 we averaged 66 points a game, and in 48 we averaged 72 points a game, and that was before the bonus free throw and
Right.
3-point shot and all that. And the clock ran on jump balls. Remember that?
Yeah.
They didn't stop the clock on jump balls.
Right.
So a lot of time would elapse, the ball get kicked up in the stand, that clock would just keep running.
I think the first 9 games we averaged 106.
In 47.
No, 48.
In
48.
48, yeah, you all were racking them in 48.
Well, really it was 47 because that was early part of the season. 47, 48.
We built those points up early.
Yeah, 106. I think our opponents had somewhere from 19 to 24.
Yeah, it was a tremendous, especially on your 47, 48 team, the 48 championship team. I forgot, Barney. I think in the regular season, your point margin, your average margin of victory was 30-some points. 44 points.
Here in the 26.
26 regular season games. Your victory margin. Coach Ron Beavers is sitting over here. Coach, have you ever had a club that had a 46-point game average over? That was incredible, and even at 48, wasn't it?
A lot of teams don't even average 46 points a game,
Yeah, that's true.
especially back then.
Let me tell you something about, we built up all those points early in the year, and then he started taking the regulars out. Wouldn't let us score that many after 3 quarters. And
Yeah.
he told us, he says, if you can score 100 in 3 quarters against Hickman, I'll leave you in there. But we had 101, and he took all the regulars out and we ended up getting 18 more points. Substitutes, remember that?
The reason I remember it is he had all 4 of y'all out when we had 99, and I tipped one in to go over 104. He could get me out. Hey, he didn't leave us all in for 3 quarters. He started yanking us before we got to 100.
Well, and Coach, what that means, I had we've spent a lot of time with Corky Withrow, Delman Gish, who was his coach at Central City, and that's what Corky said. On these great coaches back then, when you had a good ball club, these guys were always building for the next year. So when once you got up to a 20-25 point lead, he was taking the starters out and go ahead and playing those younger guys in there to bring them along for next year. That's why these guys have a 10-year run of winning 25, 30 games every year, because they're bringing their young players along. Well, tell us a little bit, Mason. Let's just go on into that 47 state tournament. First year you've been in the state tournament. Tell us a little bit about the 47 team and your experience in the state tournament. Probably your first time on a ball team away from home and that game was in, the 47 state tournament was in Louisville?
Yes.
At the Armory in Louisville.
Armory.
Tell us a little bit about your thoughts of playing in a big Armory first year, first time on the road.
We'd been everywhere anyway. See, we played at the Coliseum in Lexington. Played, who was it we played?
Did you play Inez over there?
Inez.
An alumni gym.
Yeah,
Alumni
alumni
gym.
gym. And
In fact, back up just a second, if I'm not mistaken, your 47 team only lost 2 games that year. One game during the regular season, which was in Lexington against Inez. That's the team you're talking about.
yeah,
And then the next loss was in the finals of the state tournament. So in 47, you only lost 2 ball games.
we shouldn't have lost any.
And shouldn't have lost any. Go ahead.
Because they had us warm up at the end down there where the doors were and left the doors open, and we never did break a sweat.
That was
And
the Inez game.
Inez.
Yeah.
And we got behind till we warmed up, and then we made a run at it, but we could never overtake them. And I'll always think Mason was a fluke that they beat us. I don't really think they were as good as we were.
Okay, well, let's go into that 47 state tournament. That's what we're here to talk about. Okay, we're talking about the 47 state tournament. You've got a lot of confidence. You've only lost 1 game during the season, and that was in Lexington to Inez on the road, and they left the doors open so you'd be cold the whole time you was warming up. So,
Rode all day on the.
and you drove all day over there.
Yeah,
8-hour drive.
yeah.
Now, so let's get back to Louisville, the state tournament. Tell us a little bit what you kind of remember about that state tournament game, just the tournament in general, then we'll talk a little bit about the Maysville game.
Well, see, I wasn't starting in those ball games, and they were just more or less to me just regular ball games. Now the next year it was different.
So
But
since you
I hadn't been to the state tournament before, and so it was,
Well, tell them about eating at the Blue Bowl.
it was something, wasn't it?
Well, you tell them what Coach Terry told you.
What did he tell me?
You remember that.
No, I don't.
He says, now guys, you get whatever you want to eat, and I'll pay for it to end. Well, the desserts were first, you remember that?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
salads. Got to end, Mason had 3 desserts. Coach Terry said, Colt, what's going on here? He said, well, you said get anything we wanted to eat, and desserts are my favorite food. You remember that?
And you did exactly what he told you, didn't you?
Yeah,
So, Mason, then going back to the 47, you weren't a starter. You were one of the main subs on that team, but the tournament wasn't a big deal for you in Louisville at all then, as far as you're concerned, as far as pressure, no big pressure on you. And tell us a little bit about that last game of the season up there where you get beat by Maysville, and so you're feeling good that maybe the best team didn't win that day, right?
somewhere late in the ball game, we were down 3, and I tipped it in, and they fouled me, and I made a free throw and tied it up. And I thought from there on we should have won late in the ball game. But I think a forward got around one of our men down there and shot a crib, and that was what beat us.
Okay, so that's the 47, and you get beat, and Maysville's got a bunch of juniors on there, and you guys, Brewers, have got all juniors and basically one sophomore who's carrying the load, so you all know that you're all going to come back next year in 48, or at least you're both going to have good ball clubs.
Yeah.
So let's go into that 48 season. Mason, I know you and I visited earlier. Barney hadn't told me this, but you said you recall during the season in 48 that you all were one of the top-ranked teams, not only in Kentucky, but in the nation, that you all were the #1 teams around, and that you felt like that you all were the #1 ranked team in Kentucky that year.
Well, some of the statistics says Chuck Taylor rated us #1 and named somebody else that named us #1. And we were #1, and they wanted us to play one of the top 10 in Indiana, and it fell through after the season. You remember that, Barney?
Now that's after the state tournament.
After the state tournament.
Right. Well, let's go in through that 48 season there a little bit. You're a junior, and you're playing with 4 seniors on there, and these guys have been to state tournament. This is 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
They got a ton of experience, and I'm going to say that maybe your all's confidence level is a very high level. I know talking to Barney, I said, little old country town, said, we played all over the state. We weren't scared of nobody. Paducah, Tillman, Mayfield, going to Murray, playing all the big schools, didn't bother you guys at all. You just took them on. You was looking for all comers to come in there. And let's go back, and one thing, I want you to tell me a story, but now, if I'm not mistaken, the tallest player on the team was your center, Jim Owens. Mason, you was a junior that year, and you was what, 5'10", 5'11"?
They said 5'11".
5'11". 2 tallest players, 6 foot, 5'11". The rest of you guys were 5'8", 5'9". Now, you all didn't overwhelm anybody with your height, did you?
No, probably not.
But tell us, kind of give me a little thought of what you thought of the 48 season, and what you were thinking as you was going through your junior year there in school and headed towards the state. And did you think about the state tournament, state championship?
Yeah, I thought about it all year long.
All year.
And as far as us being small, I don't know anybody that out-rebounded us, and I don't think we knew anybody that we thought could.
We blocked out
Yeah,
every
we
day in
blocked out.
practice. He used to say, if all of you block out, the ball hit the floor. Remember that?
Yeah.
And he taught that every day.
I remember somebody I was visiting with, and I was getting a rundown on each one of the players. I've talked to several people that saw you all play, and one of the comments, and I'll get Barney was that Barney was a good defensive man. He could pass the ball, he could do everything, but his strength might have been, and he had to guard a power forward all the time. He was a little guy, a short guy. I shouldn't say little, but a short guy, and you had to always guard one of the power forwards. And he said Barney may have been the absolute best at blocking out. And that was one of your strengths, Barney, that you could, whenever who your man was, he wasn't going to get the rebound. And obviously that was one of the keys to your all successes. You weren't big or tall, and as far as you know, nobody out-rebounded you.
No.
Well, that was the other thing, and I know, did Coach Terry talk to you all as you're going through the season about our goal is the championship. Did that come up? I know you said it was in your mind all the time. Did Coach Terry bring this up?
I never did hear him, did you?
Well, you know, we didn't play the Christmas tournament. And you know why? He said nobody that won the Christmas tournament had ever won the state championship.
Yeah, I remember him saying that.
Well,
So he had that in mind, didn't he?
he had it in mind all year long.
But he didn't talk.
No, he didn't really
No.
talk about it, but he had it on his mind all
Good
year
thing he
long.
wasn't superstitious, right?
Yeah.
So nobody at Coach Terry's mind that ever won a Christmas tournament won the state tournament. And therefore, he wasn't going to play the Christmas tournament this year. That's pretty good. Well, that's kind of a telling sign. But tell us a little bit about kind of what some of the highlights of the 48th season, just during the regular season, and getting into how were you developing as a ball player? You moved into your junior year. You're a starter now. Tell us a little bit about the season and how you were playing.
I really don't know how I was playing, but really and truthfully, every year or maybe every game I got a little better.
Stronger.
Yeah, and that may have been due to the fact that I hadn't seen a basketball very much for the 7th grade.
In other words, your experience, you didn't start playing in the 2nd grade or the 3rd grade, or you didn't start playing until you got to elementary school.
True.
And then once you started playing, you was gaining experience and getting better every ball, not only every year, every ball game.
In Michigan, athletes up there ran and high jump, and pole vault and all that, rather than pick out a sport.
I think you told me, I remember doing in a visit with Howie Crittenden. Howie lived in Detroit for a few years of his life.
Yep.
And he did get to play some basketball, but I believe you told me, Mason, that you never saw basketball while you were up there. Or never played any.
Well, it's been a long time, but I don't remember. The Detroit Tigers were about the only thing that you watched up there
Right.
then.
Right.
And
Maybe a hockey game.
I never did watch a hockey
I
game, but
understand. Well, let's go to the 48th state tournament. Barney, I'll get your thoughts on this too. How was your all's confidence going into the state tournament up there? You ranked #1 in the state all year. You're undefeated. Is your confidence level, are you looking forward to it? Are you a little concerned that this winning record, it might slip away? Or how was your feelings about all of this?
I think we were very confident,
we were.
very confident. Not cocky. You couldn't get cocky under Coach Terry. He had a way of bringing it back to earth, didn't he?
Yeah. And McCoy was a little bit leery of us playing 4 games in 3 days. And therefore, I think he eased up on us. You know, that we didn't go out there and do everything we could, you know, right away. Because, you know, a high school kid, that's hard on playing 4 games in 3 days.
Well, if you remember then, you looked at that state tournament program, that first afternoon game didn't start until 2 o'clock in the semifinals. You remember that? And then the last game started at 3. 2 and 3:30 or 1:30. But when you got through playing, if you were in that bottom bracket, you only had 2 or 3 hours until the final game.
Right.
Turned around and went right back out and played the finals again.
So the year Maysville beat us, we played the last game in the semifinals. The next year, we played the first game in the semifinals, so we had some rest on
And
Maysville.
Maysville had played the last game
That's
in
right.
the semifinals.
The
So,
Switz.
I didn't remember that.
You look at that program.
Oh, yeah.
well, and even today, as you know, and of course now they start the tournament on Wednesday night, but if you play that last game on Wednesday night or play the last game on Thursday, you got to win it, you got 4 games in 3 days. It's still a hard road for high school, 17, 18-year-old kids to travel down. But, little boy said, it's the same for everybody. So, but tell us, what what was that thrill going into that finals in 1948 against Maysville, the team that you thought you were better than in 47? I'm assuming, Mason, your thoughts hadn't changed any.
The only thing I'll tell you, and we took it in hard, Terry said, you got to beat them worse than they beat you last year.
In other words, he didn't want to beat them. He wanted to beat them
You're
worse
right.
than they
You're
beat you
right.
all last year. Okay.
You remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, you
If
did.
you said it, Mason, it happened.
Well, so I'm going to ask both of you. You're going in. You've seen this team. You've played them. You've watched them during the tournament. Your confidence then going into this last game is good.
We were sure we'd win.
Barney?
Well, we fell behind early. In fact, I think going into the third quarter, were we still behind or
Yeah, we
close?
probably were.
And then we started picking things up, and the fourth quarter was all ours.
Now, I remember, for our viewers, we've got a video of that game. It had been shot, and so anybody that wants to call in after they view this program and get a copy of the 1948 Maysville Brewers championship game, we got a copy of that. Now, one thing that I noticed when I watched that game was that your all's theme of full court press and pressure every place, you didn't full court press Maysville. In fact, I believe you all told me that you didn't full court press in the whole tournament. And is this because Coach Terry was a little concerned about wearing you all out?
4 games in 3 days was the reason.
Now, were you picking them up at half court line?
We kept pressure on the ball all the time. And I don't remember, we didn't have a half-court trap or anything like that.
I understand.
Just man-to-man and sloughing off weak side, sag in the middle. Couldn't switch on defense, remember that?
Yeah.
If your man got loose, it was your responsibility to try to catch him or foul him.
I understand. So, being behind in the third quarter, you caught up, passed them, and won the ball game. And you won by 6 points, if I'm not mistaken.
7, wasn't it?
7.
7.
I think he beat us 5 the year before. But anyway, we beat the spread.
You beat the spread, and you beat Coach Terry's spread, right? Well, now I know both of you went on to have successful high school careers, collegiate careers. You accomplished many things in your life. Did you come close to having anything that was a greater thrill or larger accomplishment than the 1948 state championship?
I didn't.
I had a couple that, and like I told you, when I made Little All-American on 2 or 3 poles, and then I didn't think it would be, but Marshall County's Hall of Fame really got to me.
That was a pretty special event, and what you're talking about, Mason, I believe here in 2009 in September, you and Barney, your 1947 and 1948 Brewers Redmond team was inducted into the very first class of Marshall County Hall of Fame, and I know that was a tremendous tribute down there. And you were inducted in there along with your old coach, McCoy Terry, who of course has passed away now. But tell me, who gave the presentation or who accepted the trophy for him was Mrs. Terry herself,
Martha.
95 years old. And was that one of the most special things any of us could ever see?
She is something else.
She is, certainly is that. Well, so you've had a great accomplishment. You won the 48 state tournament. It's a goal that you set, you accomplished, which is awesome. And then in 49, of course, you've got another year in high school. You come back, and if I'm not mistaken, of course, McCoy Terry, your coach, has moved on to Memphis State. He's taken 4 of his starters. He's taken your 4 comrades and sent them down to Memphis State. So he didn't leave you much, did he? But you went on and had a tremendous senior year yourself. You made Chuck Taylor's first team All-American, high school All-American. one of the top high school players in the nation in 1949. Number one. That's right. I like that. And there was a couple of pretty fair players here in Kentucky. There was a guy named Cliff Hagan, a guy over here at Madisonville called Frank Ramsey.
Yeah, but they should have been down there.
But you still got the number. They still gave you the trophy, though, didn't they?
But they should have been down there.
I understand. Well, and then after high school, Mason, you went on and played in the Kentucky Indiana All-Star game. That game was played, I believe you said, we talked about earlier,
Butler Fieldhouse.
at Butler Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, in only one game that year. They didn't play back and back. You practiced for about a week in Bowling Green under Coach Ed Diddle. Tell me a couple of the players that you remember that was on that ball club.
Ramsey's the only one I remember now.
Frank Ramsey was on there, and I know, having visited with Frank was very impressive with your talent. He said you were one of the toughest cats he'd ever played against. So you went up to Indianapolis, you played at Butler County Fieldhouse, and I believe you guys probably lost that game up there.
Best I remember, I think we did.
Okay. And then from there, you went on to enroll at Murray State University. Tell us a little bit about who was the coach at Murray State and who was on the ball club down there. There's a pretty good guy from the Army came in there, hadn't it? Garnet Bashir was Garnet.
Garrett Bashir
Garrett
was a
Bashir.
freshman with me. He was 28 and I was 18. And
Had Garrett been slow, or he was just the right?
no. He just old. He just old when he came in there. They had they had Charlie Snow and the kid from the golfer down here, down at the practice field. I mean, down where he practiced.
Don Stevenson,
Don Stevenson,
Zadie Harrell, Harold Lowry.
yeah,
Remember Harold?
and they had one guy changed his pivot foot every time he moved. I can't remember. He was tough. He was tough. He changed them all the time. Never called it on.
Never go well. If you get away with that, that's not a bad move inside, is it?
I guarded a man. I guarded an All-American at Madisonville, and he eat me up for about the first 3 times he scored. And then instead of watching his watching his feet, I watched his belt, because his feet, he changing his pivot foot about 3 times before he drove.
Now, who was this guy? That wasn't Frank Ramsey, was it?
No, he was played at Evansville.
Okay. Well, I know you played 2 years at Murray State. I know we visited on that. You said that wasn't one of the happier experiences in your life.
No, it wasn't really.
Playing with older guys.
Yeah,
And I'm going to guess they may have treated you like a younger guy.
they treated me like a little brother that they didn't like.
I can tell you something about that.
Go ahead.
Because I knew the guys that he played with. He came in as an All-American. He had a lot of publicity. His name was everywhere. And those older guys resented that very much. And I've heard stories about him beating him up against the wall in practice, and they roughed him up. They really gave you a rough way, didn't they?
Yeah, and Don Stevenson down here told me this year, I never heard it before, that they matched before they came out to practice to see who got to beat me up that day.
I don't doubt it.
Well, so let's say this, that I know that you played 2 years down there. It wasn't your happiest 2 years of your life. Now, playing with these tougher, older guys, did you learn some basketball? Did you learn how to take care of yourself? Did you take any?
Really I did. And I guess it made me tougher because I had a couple of guys in OVC, I guess it's OVC then, that blocked my shot. And I guess I was cocky enough, I was bound and determined I was gonna get them back. But I can't remember whether I was blocked. Bob Lavoie from Western's shot, but Mrazovich at Easter went in to shoot a crip, and he was loafing, and you couldn't duck him. And when he went up, I was about 2 feet above him and slapped it against the board, and I said, "Gotcha."
Well, and that was while you was at Murray, then, right?
While I was at Murray.
Now, and then you jumped. The Korean War had started. Now, and you went into service. And did you get drafted or did you join?
I enlisted.
You enlisted in the United States Navy
Right.
and spent 3 years in the Navy.
Spent 4.
4 years.
Played 1 year at Memphis, Millington. Played 3 years at Norfolk Navy Flyers.
Well, and you get out of the Navy, and I'm sure you've got a scholarship waiting for you to go back to Murray. So, what was your status when you get out of the Navy, Mason?
Well, they acted like they might be doing me a favor and didn't give me a scholarship back. So, and anyway, they charged me for a towel while I was stationed in San Diego, and before I could get a transcript, I had to give them 50 cents for the towel. And I got home and told Daddy, my daddy, and he was mad, and he said,
Now, wait a minute. Did what now? Give me that story again. Who charged you?
Murray State charged me 50 cents for a towel before they give me a transcript.
I'm glad we got this on film,
That's
Mason.
my times back then.
Afterwards, I went home and Daddy said, Kentucky Wesleyan's been down here every week for the last 3 months. Said Harlan Hodges, he's coaching somewhere out west then, said he'd love to have me out there, but I'd never play for him again the way he had to do me at Murray. I don't know why. But anyway, he told Wesleyan that they could probably get me. And so they come down there and wait. Daddy said, get in the car, we're going over. So we went up there, met him at Gates.
And who was the coach up there?
Bullet Wilson.
Bullet Wilson.
But he wasn't there.
Okay.
It was All-American City Club that met us down at Gates. And they did scholarship, so they wanted me to go to school right away. So.
And this was, what year was this, Mason? Was this been 1956, fall of 56, summer 56?
No, it'd be the fall of 55.
Okay.
And they wanted me to go to summer school. So they thought I'd be eligible then. And then Bullet called the NCAA because we were going to try to go Division I, and he wanted to know whether I or somebody else would be eligible, And they said, yeah, I could play varsity for 4 years, I didn't come under the 3-year job. So then he went out and loaded up. He scheduled Tennessee, Loyola of the South, 5 teams out in Texas, New Mexico. We played Miami at Miami. We played some school up from there. We played Georgia Southern.
Who were some of your teammates on that first class?
Lewis Snowden,
Snowden,
Joe Rube.
Joe Root, some guard on there, I remember, was pretty decent.
Oh yeah, he was fair.
Linville Puckett?
Linville Puckett and Logan Guy, and me, and they had they had a Taylor kid, he was a little boy, and then, oh, can't remember the one that I saw over at Quonset Hood after I got up there that looked bigger and better than Cliff Hagan, and they scared me to death. He's dead now, though. I can't think of his name.
Well,
Half-court All-American.
Half-court All-American?
Couldn't run the floor and then play. Have you ever had any of them?
One or two.
They had a kid from Tell City, Indiana. Throw them up everywhere. Look like, make King Kelly Coleman look like a piper. And they told me they didn't start. They was sort of halfway scared.
Well, Barney over there's heard about these guys, these 3 o'clock All-Americans that can't play at night. We've all coached a little bit. Had those
Oh,
guys.
okay.
The 3 o'clock All-Americans.
Oh, we had a kid up there that scored 105 points that didn't play either in one game. And then finally I decided I was going to find out who he's playing against. And he was playing against some deaf and dumb school.
Well, tell us a little bit about that first year. Then you all had if I'm not mistaken, that 55-56 ball club was a heck of a ball club. I think you and I were talking about that. Said if you'd have had
If we'd had a big time center, if Lewis might have played forward or something like that, or anything, or they may move me to guard and one of them sent down, we would have probably been, if they'd invited us, we'd probably been NCAA champions. If we'd had somebody like Charlie Tyra from Louisville,
all you needed was one big guy.
one big guy that could play.
And then, if I'm not mistaken, the guy you just talking about, Charlie Tyra from Louisville, they did manage to go on and win the National Invitational Tournament.
Yeah, they did.
So,
Yeah, we'd sit there waiting for a bid for it.
well, how was your experience with Bullet Wilson? There, you played 2 years under Bullet at Kentucky Wesleyan. Was that? And of course, now you've been in the Navy for a few years. You kind of now are you beating up on the little guys at Kentucky Wesleyan now?
No. But they didn't have it. All those guys were seniors.
Yeah.
And me being in the service, I wouldn't have been about 2 years above a senior. I wouldn't, and I still wouldn't beat up on me.
I'm just kidding you on that. I did talk to a few guys that saw you play at Kentucky Wesleyan, and I'm going to get Barney's comment on that. And they said that you might have been the toughest 6'1" forward they ever saw. Said you might have not been the fastest or jumped the highest, but said you didn't nobody whip you in there. And said when you went for a rebound, you got it. And said when you had the ball and you was going to score inside, said they didn't stop you very often. So you had quite a reputation as a bulldog in there around the basket. A lot of tremendous comments on you is now. And you mentioned something earlier that I hadn't even thought about. Was there ever a chance that that Bullet thought about playing you at guard, or were you just tough enough inside, even though you didn't have a lot of height, that he needed you to play inside for him?
Every place I played, every coach I had said, "You're my guard." 2 games later, they said, "No, you're not. You're too far away from the basket. You're my forward."
Tell me,
They said, "You're too small to play forward." After 2 games, they decided I wasn't too small to do it.
Barney, tell me. Now you played with Mason in high school, and I'm sure you saw him play either at Murray and maybe at Kentucky Wesleyan both. What were your assessments of Barney's strengths and weaknesses?
Well, he could take the ball to the basket, drive baseline, as well as anybody I've ever seen. He could take that long step and get that shoulder, and he was gone. Tremendous jumper, never was tipped, jump ball, and he had that pogo jump, I call it. He didn't have to leap to jump. He could just jump up and grab it. The good hands, and of course he was the scorer after we were seniors. See, we had 5 guys that wanted the ball. And you couldn't have it as often as Mason wanted it. But when Mason, if Mason had gotten more, he'd have scored more. And of course, I'm sure in college you got your share of the ball. Maybe you didn't with Linville and those guys. But anyhow, he's a tremendous player, there's no question.
What, I know, Mason, one of the things that I was intrigued with, and after you graduated from Kentucky Wesleyan, you had an opportunity to play against, I believe, was it the Fabulous Five that was going to go, and maybe this was before.
No, that was high school.
That was after high school, that's
Yeah.
right. I think that's a great story to tell. The Fabulous Five from the University of Kentucky, 1948, 1949 team, and they were all as a team going to turn pro.
Right.
And you had an opportunity to play in an all-star game against those guys, is that correct?
I don't know if it's our all-star game, but they played.
Or an exhibition game.
We played down here at Tillman Gym. And,
And you had just graduated from high school.
I just graduated from high school.
So you're an 18-year-old and you're playing against the Fabulous Five. Tell me a little bit about that game.
They put their shoes on just like I did.
Well, let's see. There was Alex Groza on that team.
Wawa Jones.
Kenny Rollins, a fellow Western Kentucky boy down here from Wycliffe, and
I think Joe Holland had probably left. I don't think they had. Was Barnstable one of them?
Barnstable.
And,
Well, Joe Holland was still on that team. I
was
believe.
he?
He wasn't a starter though.
Cliff Parker.
Cliff Barker.
Cliff Park.
Now you're talking about the 49 rather than the 48 team, right? From UK?
Yeah.
The 49 team.
Right. That's right.
Okay.
And but they had to.
Some of them back.
Some of them
Yeah.
back. That's right. And but I thought it was pretty interesting. And you were telling me, I think you out tipped. Did you out tip Groza?
Rose.
Out tipped Groza. That what you call that pogo jumping
Pogo.
head went right up and
You
beat
must have
out.
held him down, did you?
Maybe did. But I wanted to stay. And I didn't hold him down the first rebound that come off the board. I was standing there by him and I went up and I out jumped him, so I didn't feel bad about holding him down.
Well, that must have been quite an experience for you, Mason, getting to play against those guys as a high school senior.
It was.
And being able to compete with them. Do you remember anybody else that was on that on your team, on the exhibition team that you all played in?
I don't remember a soul. I don't even remember. I don't even remember how they even picked who was going to play.
Well, Mason, you had a fabulous high school career. An honor was bestowed upon you. That two honors. One it wasn't bestowed, but you were on a championship ball club in 1948, which still holds the record as the last undefeated team in Kentucky. 1949, you had the honor of being selected the #1 basketball player in the state, in the nation, in not only Kentucky but in the nation on Chuck Tully's All-American. As a high school senior, you got to play against the Fabulous Five in a practice exhibition game. Quite a career at Murray and Kentucky Wesleyan. Played on some great ball clubs. Competed against some great talents. One of the questions I always like to ask, and of course, two thrills that you've already told us, is playing on that championship team and being selected All-American #1 player in the nation. That is pretty top honor to be. Who were a couple of the really good ball players in high school that you competed against? And then later on, in college, who were just a couple of the outstanding players that just kind of stuck out? And I know you played against a lot of great ones, but somebody just kind of stuck out a little bit more than somebody else did.
I don't remember anybody that I played against in high school that I thought was all that great. Now in college I played against Selvey,
Frank Selvey.
Frank Selvey. I played against Charlie Tara.
And I believe that you mentioned that you played
Bob
against
Lavoie,
Bob Lavoie.
Mrazovich from Eastern. Y'all remember him?
Yep.
Uh,
And I believe you told me you played in the pros, and you played, I believe you told me you played about a half a season with the Harlem Magicians,
yeah,
who was a team that was, Goose Tatum had put together, and you played on the Washington Generals team.
I think that's what they called him anyway.
Or something like that. Well, tell me, I remember you telling me that Goose called you, wanted you to come up and play with him for a season, and what did you tell Goose that you'd do?
I told him I wasn't enough money, and they'd have to ante more, and they did that, and I told them I wouldn't go along with their games. When they laid the ball down on the floor and you run around, you wasn't supposed to see it, or I wouldn't chase the dribbler, and they said, come on.
Now, did you tell me that you played against Paul Aronson?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And was that in the, was that?
He was in station at Quantico.
And that was in the service?
In the service. I played, as a matter of fact, I got a picture that shows where I tipped one in over him.
Oh. But Paul was a pretty fair pro player himself. If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
he was. I used Mr. Pro at least 1 or 2 years.
Might have even been the leading scorer in the NBA there a couple of years too. He was
Yeah.
a heck of a ball player.
Yeah, he was. And I also played against the Duke boy that played shortstop for St. Louis. I can't think of his name.
Dick
Grove.
Dick Grove.
Dick
I
Grove.
played against Dick Grove. But the only story I can tell you about any of them, though, is Level Puckett and I decided we was going to stop selling.
Now
And
you
he
all
don't-
were at Kentucky Western.
Yeah, and he drove on Level, and I run in front of him and guarded him and jumped as high as I could. And he shot that ball straight up in there because I was blocking it if he shot it to the basket. Hit the corner of the board. It went up about 5 or 10 feet higher than that and dropped in. I went over and told Level, I said, you're on your own.
The one thing about Frank Selvey, that wasn't the first time somebody was going to stop him. If I'm not mistaken, of course, Frank was from Corbin, Kentucky. He was a Kentucky boy playing at Thurman University, and if I'm not mistaken, he might have scored 100 points in the college game himself. So he knew a little bit about shooting the ball, didn't he?
Yep.
Uh,
But the kid from Duke may have been the best at the time, was probably as good a guard as I've ever seen.
Dick Grove.
Dick Grove.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, Mason, I think he was an All-American basketball player.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
he
I was
was.
thinking. He was a great basketball
He
player.
was a great basketball player.
then-
I couldn't figure out why. Well, probably back then they was paying $21,000 for your pro contract in basketball, and he probably got 3 times that playing baseball. I can see where you would.
But,
But it's just like I told you, the 2 top players in the pro, one of them was making 22.5, one of them was making 21.5. And that's the reason a lot of guys went with against Harlem Globetrotters. They were probably making 8,000 or 9,000, and they were picking up all the expenses. And by the time you got around to it, it was a heck of a job. The kid up at Murray, how many years he toured against?
Benny Purcell?
Yeah.
Several.
yeah. Well, there's a lot of the ball players, and then of course we had some. You and I were talking about Bevo Francis, Bill Spivey. Some of those guys that got caught up in those, and not that Bevo did, but Spivey got caught up in some of those gambling things. Not that he was ever convicted of anything, which he wasn't, of course. But if you had any painted about you, or they even thought, you got blackballed. And they had so few teams and enough and a huge volume of ball players. If you got blackballed, you're gone.
Yeah, but they don't do like that. But back then they didn't do like what they did now. if you're cut by one team, other teams will look at you. Back then, if you went with one team and they cut you, there wasn't anybody else gonna look at you, because I don't know why, but they didn't have as many teams.
They ate the ball clubs. had
Yeah,
18.
they hadn't started the ABA. Just like, well, probably it shouldn't, I mean, it shouldn't have been this way. I think Gary Bashir was drafted 157th. Well, 157th back then, he was a podunk youth, and he was tough, don't get me wrong.
Probably Garrett's biggest problem was he was a little older and he wasn't going to have a long lifetime in the business.
I think that hurt me. I think it hurt me with the Hawks. I think if I'd have been 22 instead of 26, they'd probably.
Sure. Mason, before we get out of here, now you graduated from Kentucky Western. I know you told me you got you taught for a little while and actually coached a little while. Tell us a little bit about your coaching career, and did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I did enjoy that.
Did you run the full court press?
You know, come to think about it, no, yeah, we did some. Well, I was telling you about the zone press. I'd never seen that. I played for 20 years and I'd never seen a zone press. And I think it brought in by the coach over Mayfield. And Reed Condor asked me, he said, "You want me to call him and find out about it?" And I said, "No, I don't." He said, "How come?" I said, "I needed to talk to him before I saw it. I saw it last night."
Well, and you were in education for a couple of years,
Yeah.
and then you got out and then got into private business. Is that correct?
No, not really private business. I work for Air Products and Airco, and they sold out the Air Products. So I worked for them for 31 years.
And here in the Paducah area?
Yeah, I went to Calvert City for a while until I retired about 18, 19 years ago.
Well, Mason, it's been a pleasure having you to take your time today and visit with us. Barney, and thank you again for, as always, coming in and getting a chance to visit with you guys about your playing days, the great careers you had in high school, in college, and then of course Barney went on and had a heck of a career as in education. It's been our pleasure to have you on and for you all to take time to visit with us and share some of your stories with us. I want to thank both of you so much for doing it. We're looking forward to getting all this put together and sharing it with everybody else.
Okay.
Thank you, Barney.
Now, many of us left this, Mason.
What?
Many of us left.